And let's get on with the details now. A massive nationwide crackdown on payroll fraud is to begin next week as part of an exercise to remove ghost names from the country's payroll. The Auditor General's Department is teaming up with the Special Prosecutor in this exercise, which will cover public institutions across the country. Several regions will be the starting. Well, the central region, I beg your pardon, will be the starting point, and it's starting on the 17th of July. The Auditor General, Daniel Domlevo, is warning the department will delete names of all workers who fail to turn up for the exercise. He's been speaking at a news conference held jointly with the Special Prosecutor, Martin Amidu, in Accra today.
Financial administration regulation provides clearly from Regulation 299 that once you are the head of a management unit, that is a government entity, a school, hospital, or department, or ministry, you have a duty to ensure that it is only people who are working for you who are on your payroll. The regulation continues to say that immediately one of your employees leave your employment, you are supposed to first notify the Accountant General's Department, notify the IPPD, what they call the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Database Section of the ministry where the person is working, for them to stop the salary. But you know that that information may not reach early enough. So the regulation goes ahead to even say, write to the bankers of that employee to stop the salary, so that anytime the salary comes, it is paid into our salary suspense accounts and comes back to the central government. People don't do this. And when we come on audit, all they do is to show us a letter they have sent to the center. But the law did not say you should just write to the center. Say write to the center and write to the bankers. And say anytime you receive government salary for this person who have separated him or herself from employment, pay it back into what we call the salaries suspense account. And that salary suspense account is a collection account into the consolidated fund. So you take the money back into the consolidated fund. So we will need evidence from anybody who says that, as for me, I did take the steps. So we would like to see, did you write the bankers? And also, I want to use this medium to warn also the banks. If the money is paid into the salary suspense account and the bank fails to transfer the money to the consolidated fund account, we will surcharge the bank as well. We are going to be surcharging the banks. We are not going to leave them out of this because some of them also think that consolidated fund is part of their working capital. We are not going to allow that. So if the money is actually stopped at the bank and you keep it, then you are also on our radar. We are going to visit you. And like the Honorable Special Prosecutor said, I would like to say that take advantage of the provisions under the Section 71 of his Act, that is the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, where you can come and say, look, I've sinned. Forgive me my sin, I'll pay it. And maybe we may decide some interest that you should pay, and then you are out of that. Otherwise, if we get you ourselves, you will by all means pay, but you will also go for prosecution. And you may not find that very palatable. We also want to use the same. I want to conclude by telling my other colleagues who are public servants that we are not here for witch hunting at all. It's a very objective exercise. If you think you have the facts and the figures, auditing is about evidence. Produce the evidence. But please don't come to us and say, trust us. Trust me, I've taught for so many years. There's no way I know you have been teaching for so many years. So there is no way you can say you are a teacher, you have no appointment letter. You say, I'm working in a hospital, I have no appointment letter. You are working in a hospital, but you have no certificate. You are a teacher, you have no certificate. So we are looking for all that information to justify. Even if you are genuinely on the payroll, we want to know whether the position you are on the payroll is correct. When did you join the payroll? And how did you get to where you are on the payroll? So we are going to interrogate all that, and we will again ask for your cooperation.
Auditor General Daniel Domlevo there. So this work is not going to be done by his outfit alone. Of course, they're teaming up with no less of an institution than the Special Prosecutor's Office, which is led by Martin Amidu. We can hear Martin Amidu on what steps his office is taking to deal with payroll fraud.
The Auditor General's office and my office have decided to pool our resources together to cooperate and collaborate in order to achieve our respective mandates. So we have agreed that while he is doing his work during the payroll audit, when he finds any suspicions of the commission of crime, he would signal us so that we will move in immediately and begin an investigation. So by the time the exercise is finished, if there are people who have committed any corruption or corruption-related offenses, we will deal with them together with their self-seeking collaborators. So by the end of the exercise, maybe you will have prosecutable dockets ready so that we can go to court. We are trying to depart from the formal procedure where the Auditor General submits a report to Parliament. It is discussed, and people think that, well, after Parliament has discussed it, no prosecutions will be done. My appointment, and which coincides with his being the Auditor General, has brought two very different people, but thinking the same way together. So we have decided that when auditors are auditing any organization, department, or ministry, and they detect anything, they shouldn't wait until the complete report. They should notify me, as long as it relates to a corruption or a corruption-related offense, so that I can begin the investigation, taking caution statements, building a prosecution docket. So by the time the annual audit report is going to Parliament, police or prosecution dockets are ready for examination by my office, and then those who are found to be liable, we will decide to prosecute them, or if they want to take advantage of Section 71 of the Office of Special Prosecutor Act 2017 at 952, they may 959, they may do so.
Martin Amidu is a special prosecutor. So why has this become necessary? Let's speak to Deputy Auditor General George Winfo, who's joining me on the telephone line now. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Why this? Hello, Mr. Winfo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very well. Thank you very much for your time on the show. I was asking earlier why your department is deciding to team up with the special prosecutor to clean up the payroll. I mean, of course, it's a necessity, but exactly why or what has prompted this?
Yes, thank you very much for having me on your station, and good afternoon to your listeners. As you know, payroll has been an issue for us, has been an issue of concern to the Auditor General. If you will notice, it has been a recurring issue. We report on payroll infractions almost every time we issue our report. And so we decided that this time round, we are going to do a full-scale payroll audit to assure ourselves as to where we are in terms of the management of payroll. As you know, Controller and Accountant General is responsible for the payroll administration. But the human resource aspect of it is also the responsibility of the MPA. So whereas Controller is running the payroll and sending money to government employees' accounts, the heads of various MPAs are also responsible for managing the human resource record of the government employees. Okay. There have been cases that we go to a place and there is gold, or let me say, we go to a place and we report on earned salary, and you wonder who to blame. Is it the Controller and Accountant General or the MPA?
Right.
This is an exercise that will give us the opportunity to know who to blame and to sanction appropriately when we establish such facts.
Obviously, you may have established a certain pattern of suspicious enlistment. What is the extent of this suspicious enlistment?
You see, auditing what we are doing is risk-based audit. Risk does not mean that it is there as a fact.
Okay.
So it is the audit that we will do that will establish the fact. And so for now, we have the feeling that there is a possibility of people who are government payroll who are not actually government employees.
Right.
So those are the people we are going after.
Well, what will be the role of the special prosecutor then? We've heard Martin Amidu explain how they're going to be working with you so that if you detect any prosecutable cases, he will take it up. But is that all he's going to be doing, or his office is going to be doing?
You see, the whole accountability has to begin and has an end. We are beginning with the audit, come out with the issue. If there are more, there is a need for further investigation that will assist us to have a solid evidence to prosecute persons culpable. Then we are lucky to have Honorable Martin Amidu assisting us in this direction. We do not just want to leave it hanging. So we want to complete the entire cycle of the audit by getting him partnering with us so that if it requires further prosecution, then they will assist us to build the case and to prosecute any person we find culpable.
You're starting on the 17th of this month, and you're starting with the Central Region. Any special reason why?
Our audit is driven by data. We have pulled the entire government employees' data. We have roughly 600,000 people we are going to enumerate. And looking at the statistics, the numbers we see in Central Region, we think that it's a good number that we can start with. It's a number that can give us an idea of what will happen in the bigger regions, what we are expecting to see in the bigger regions. And it is going to be a good opportunity for us to use that as a case study to perfect our audit processes as we go along.
Okay, so out of this 600,000 you're talking about, how many is in the Central Region?
I cannot readily tell you, but I can say that I would say that Central Region is not the least number, but will be roughly the 8th or the 7th.
The 8th or the 7th. So why didn't you start with number 1? Which is where, by the way?
I'm expecting that you will ask this question, but we are very comfortable starting with Central Region.
Yes, you are comfortable. We don't understand. So would you tell us why you're skipping number 1, which I assume may be Accra? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So number 1 is Accra. So why won't you start in Accra, which is number 1, but start with number 7, which is Central Region?
Accra is big and the dynamics are complex. And so we will not want to start with Accra.
Okay.
We will want to start with a reasonably smaller rate so that we can learn all the lessons. And then it will also give us ample time to sensitize the regions with the bigger numbers and the complex dynamics. So by the time we get those regions, the message would have gone very deep, and the exercise will be more successful.
Before I let you go, if someone, for example, now that you've skipped Accra, which is number 1, to go to the Central Region, which is number 7 or 8, are you not signaling people, for example, within Accra, to remove these ghost names ahead of time so that they won't be found culpable? And if that is done, is the audit service able to detect?
You see, as Honorable Martin Amidu said, if you know you are doing the wrong thing, the time is now to do the right thing.
Okay.
So if there's any sanction that will be applied to you, it may be minimal. Again, auditing is it's more, the gains of auditing is more of deterrent than even what we uncover. So if as a result of what we are about to do, people do the right thing, I think that it will be part of the things that we are expecting to protect the public funds.
So then it squares out, or it evens out. But are you able to detect if actually, you know, someone removes this any of such information from the system by the time you get to them?
In fact, we have database of persons who have been paid from January up to June.
Okay.
And so we have a good sense of people who are on the government payroll. If there's any kind of interesting deletions and subtractions wherever, we'll be able to know. Because those people have been paid, those people's salaries have gone to their bankers, and those ones is difficult to do anything about it. So we will still be able to track and know people who were taking wrong salaries, and break them through.
Mr. Winful, I'm sure that as time goes along, we will be able to have a lot more questions on our mind with which for which you can help us with some answers. But do you have an end date? You're starting on the 17th.
We have an end date.
Okay.
Roughly, we will be in Central Region for 2 weeks. We are hoping that we will visit all the district assemblies.
Okay.
And we are encouraging government employees to visit their district assemblies for the enumeration. We will finally base in Cape Coast. Having spread ourselves in all the districts in Central Region, after doing it for about, say, 3 to 4 days in the district, we will converge at the Cape Coast and do the mop-up exercise and bring Central Region enumeration to a close. I want to use this opportunity to encourage all government employees to take this exercise very seriously and participate in it for it to be more successful and for us to all come to the agreement that this is the number of people who deserve to be paid on the government payroll. I also want to use this to appeal again to government employees that there are other sanctions that will apply should they not speak to this call, because Auditor General has the power of disallowance, as we did during our audit of the liability. When we finish with this exercise, any name that we do does not present, any person who does not present himself or herself for enumeration, we are going to delete that name from the government payroll.
Okay.
And when we do so, the only institution that can bring that person's name back on the government payroll will be the High Court. That will be a long haul. I cannot do anything about it after this exercise. Neither can the Auditor General do anything about it. So we want to use this opportunity to appeal to all government employees. We know that this may inconvenience you. That is why we are going to spread ourselves widely to ensure that we minimize any inconvenience. We will be present in all the districts in the Central Region to enumerate you, and we will still give opportunity at Cape Coast. If you miss it in your district, to come to Cape Coast and get yourself enumerated for us to have a clean payroll and a clean dam.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. George Winful is the Deputy Auditor General there, speaking about how this program is going to go, how long it is going to go, and what you need to do if you work for government.